The Playful Dolphin Meets Magical Mermaids. It was early morning, and the sun was just starting to shine down through the blue, blue ocean. Down below, a cheerful dolphin named Splash woke up with a big smile. "Woohoo!" he squeaked, spinning through the water like a rocket. Up, up, up he swam, and then, whoosh! He jumped out of the water, flipping in the air with a joyful splash. Sunlight sparkled on the waves like tiny stars, and Splash laughed as he landed back in the sea. He raced with the breeze, twirled through the bubbles, and even made a few sleepy fish giggle as he zipped by. "What a perfect morning," Splash chirped. "The ocean is my playground, and I'm ready for fun." But today, something felt different. Splash slowed down and looked around. The waves were calm, the water was warm. A soft, gentle pull tugged at his fins, like the ocean was whispering a secret. What's that?" Splash wondered, his eyes wide with curiosity. It felt like something magical, like an invisible string was leading him somewhere special. He didn't know why, but deep in his heart he felt it. Something or someone was calling him, and Splash knew he had to follow.
What's that shiny stuff?
With a big smile and a flip of his tail, Splash took off toward the glimmering light ahead. Tiny bubbles floated all around him as he swam deeper and deeper through the sparkling sea. He didn't know what he was going to find, but something in the water shimmered, and Splash just had to see what it was. As Splash swam closer, his eyes grew wide with amazement. The coral reef sparkled with every color you can imagine: red like strawberries, blue like the sky, yellow like sunshine, and green like fresh seaweed. It shimmered like a living rainbow, gently waving in the water like it was dancing. Fish darted in and out, giggling and glowing. But right in the middle of it all, something was stirring. A soft glow began to rise from the reef's heart, as if the ocean itself was waking up a secret. Splash slowed down, his flippers moving gently now. His big, curious eyes were wide with wonder. Right up ahead, near a beautiful arch made of coral, something was twirling and glowing. A swirl of sparkling light danced in the water like glitter caught in a breeze. It shimmered and spun, casting little rainbows on the rocks. Splash tilted his head. "What is that?" he whispered. He felt his heart beat faster. Whatever it was calling to him.
Whoa. What is this place?
And then, the water shimmered like stardust. A gentle wave rolled through the reef, and out from its glowing heart came a graceful shape. It moved slowly, calmly. Long hair flowed behind it like seaweed in the current, and a soft light sparkled around its body. Splash floated completely still, eyes wide, mouth open. "Is that a mermaid?" he whispered in awe. The magical figure turned, and for the first time, Splash and the mermaid locked eyes.
Are you real?
Yes, I am Luma, and I've been waiting for you, little dolphin.
The mermaid smiled, and when she spoke, her voice was soft like a lullaby and smooth like waves rolling on the shore. Splash listened closely, his heart slowing, his body relaxing. It felt like the whole ocean was speaking through her, gentle, kind, and full of secrets. Her words wrapped around him like a warm current, and for a moment, everything else disappeared. Splash wasn't afraid. He wasn't confused. He just felt safe. "Who are you?" he asked, barely above a whisper. The mermaid's eyes sparkled as she replied, "My name is Luma." and I've been waiting for you."
Come, Splash. There is much you must see.
Luma didn't say another word. She smiled gently, turned, and glided into the glowing reef like a ribbon in the water. Her tail shimmered with every color of the sea, leaving a trail of tiny sparkles behind her. Splash watched in amazement, his heart thumping with excitement. "Where is she going?" he thought. Without even thinking, he kicked his tail and followed. The coral walls closed in around them. Splash didn't know what adventure waited ahead, but he knew one thing for sure. He had to see where the mermaid would lead him.
This place, it feels alive.
They swam deeper and deeper until something amazing happened. The narrow coral canyon began to open up, wider and wider. And then, wow! Splash gasped as the ocean suddenly bloomed into a giant glowing cavern. Sunbeams poured through cracks above, lighting up the water like a glittering dream. Colorful fish zipped and twirled like living confetti. Coral towers reached toward the sky, swaying gently like underwater trees. It was full of light, full of life, and full of magic. Splash had never seen anything so beautiful. "It's like a secret ocean garden," he whispered, eyes wide with wonder.
Whoa!
This is the Heart Reef, a place only a few are ever allowed to see.
Luma turned to Splash with a sparkle in her eyes. "This place," she said softly, her voice like a seashell song, "is no ordinary reef." She stretched out her arms as tiny bubbles danced around them. Every light you see, every swirl of water, every creature swimming by, they're all touched by magic. As she spoke, a school of glowing fish swam past in perfect circles, lighting up the cavern like twinkling stars. Splash spun slowly in place, soaking it all in. "I can feel it," he whispered. "It's like the ocean is alive with secrets. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen."
You were meant to find it. The reef chose you.
Just as Splash started to understand how special this place really was, something new happened. A sound, soft and sweet, echoed through the reef like music. It wasn't a wave or a whale song, or even the hum of the current. It was laughter. Joyful, sparkling laughter that danced through the water like a melody. Splash's ears perked up. He looked around, eyes wide. "Who's there?" he asked with a smile. The laughter grew louder, wrapping around him like a playful hug. And then, from behind a coral tower, came 3 shimmering figures, giggling as they swam. The Coral Sisters had arrived.
Was that laughing?
Don't be startled. They're excited to meet you.
Suddenly, whoosh! With a swirl of light and laughter, 3 mermaids spun out from behind the coral. They twirled and flipped through the water, their long flowing hair shining like sea silk. Their tails sparkled in bright colors, one as pink as a seashell, one as green as seagrass, and one as blue as the deep sea. They burst into the open like a splash of color, giggling and spinning like sea dancers. "Hello there, little dolphin," sang the first. "We've heard about you," chimed the second. "Luma finally found you," laughed the third. Splash couldn't help but grin. "Who are you?" he asked, amazed. The 3 mermaids giggled and swirled around him like a living rainbow. "We're the Coral Sisters," they sang together, "and this is where your real adventure begins."
Ooh, he's even cuter than you said, Luma.
Race you around the reef, dolphin boy.
What's happening right now?
The whole reef suddenly burst into motion. Fish twirled, bubbles swirled, and colors sparkled everywhere. The Coral Sisters spun and flipped through the water like sea ballerinas, their laughter bubbling up like music. "Come on, Splash," one of them called. Before he could even answer, they grabbed his fins and zoomed through the water in a joyful whirl. Splash laughed out loud as he swam and spun with them. Faster, faster. The sea felt like one big party. Shells clinked like tiny drums, jellyfish blinked like glowing lanterns, and coral branches swayed to the beat. Splash had never felt so alive. He wasn't just watching the magic anymore. He was part of it. He was dancing in the heart of the reef. But not everyone in the reef was smiling. While Splash laughed and twirled with the Coral Sisters deep in the shadows, someone was watching. A pair of crabby eyes peeked out from behind a rock. His shell was covered in sea moss, and his tiny claws clicked together with a grumble. He muttered. Dolphins don't belong in this part of the ocean. It was Crabby, the grumpiest crab in the reef. He didn't like surprises, and he definitely didn't like new visitors stirring up the peace. As the others danced, Crabby scuttled out slowly, his eyes narrowing. "He needs to know the truth before it's too late," he snapped, and with a sharp click of his claws, Crabby marched toward Splash.
Humph! Laughing, twirling, splashing. It's chaos. I tell you, chaos.
Crabby's little legs moved fast as he scuttled over the reef rocks. Clickety-click, clickety-click. His face was all scrunched up, and his tiny claws snapped with every step. Too much spinning, too much singing, too much splashing, he grumbled. With a big huff, he puffed out his chest. Well, as much as a crab can, and marched right into the middle of the fun. "Time to bring some order back to this reef," he muttered. Crabby didn't care about the sparkles or the music or even the magic. He cared about rules and quiet and keeping things just the way they'd always been. He was determined to put an end to all this excitement before things got out of claw.
You there, Splashy! Stop flapping around and listen.
Whoa, you're loud.
This place isn't all sparkle and singing, you know. There's danger in the deep.
All at once, the reef fell silent. The laughter stopped. The music of the bubbles faded. Even the swaying coral seemed to freeze. The Coral Sisters floated still, their wide eyes blinking as they slowly lowered to the reef floor. Not a fish twitched. Not a jellyfish blinked. Everyone turned to look at Crabby, who stood firmly with his claws crossed and a very serious frown on his face. Splash blinked, confused by the sudden hush. He floated beside Luma, his heart thumping quietly. "What just happened?" he whispered.
Something stirs in the trench. Something not seen in 1,000 tides.
Crabby's warning hung in the water like a heavy bubble. "There are places even magic can't reach," he had said, his voice low and serious. No one spoke. No one danced. The Coral Sisters floated close together, their smiles now soft and unsure. Luma's glow dimmed just a little, and splash. He felt a tiny shiver roll down his fin. The joy from before seemed far away now. The reef was quiet, too quiet. The fish stopped darting. The sea plants stopped swaying. Even the bubbles slowed, as if the ocean itself was holding its breath. The laughter was gone, and the sea around them had grown still, very still.
So, we're really going down there?
Yes, but we go together.
Luma looked at Splash, her eyes calm, but serious. "It's time," she whispered. With a gentle flick of her glowing tail, she turned and began to swim downward, into the deep. The Coral Sisters followed close behind, their colors fading softly into the blue. Splash took one last look at the reef, the bright coral, the twinkling fish, the place that had felt like a dream, and then he followed, Down, down, down they swam, deeper than Splash had ever been before. The sunlight above grew dimmer, the colors around them faded, and the water grew cooler and quiet. And so they descended, leaving the warm light of the reef behind and heading into the unknown. Down, down they went, where the water turned deep blue and the world felt hushed. Here, the sea whispered its secrets in soft swirls and bubbles. Everything moved slower, the fish, the light, even the feeling in Splash's heart. Strange shadows drifted by, and glowing plants swayed like they were sharing stories only the deep sea knew. It was quiet, but not empty. "This place feels different," he whispered. Luma nodded, her glow lighting the way. "That's because it is," she said gently. "We've entered the place where the ocean keeps its oldest secrets."
I feel like the ocean is watching us.
You're not wrong. The trench is alive and ancient.
And far, far below, where the light barely reached, something began to move. It was slow at first, like a gentle wave rolling across the seafloor. Tiny pebbles shifted. A cloud of sand swirled into the water. Splash felt it before he saw it, a deep thump, like the beat of a giant heart. He looked at Luma. She was still. The Coral Sisters huddled close, their eyes wide. What is that?" Splash asked softly. Luma's voice was calm, but serious. "Something ancient, something powerful," she said, "and it's waking up."
Feel that?
Something's coming. Something big.
The glowing light deep beneath the sand began to grow, brighter and brighter. It shimmered like moonlight and sparkled like stars, growing stronger with every second. Splash squinted as the light lit up the deep like a sun beneath the sea. The Coral Sisters held on to each other, their tails swaying with the trembling current. Then, crack! A beam of light shot upward, so powerful it split the ocean floor. Rocks shifted, bubbles exploded, and a glowing crack opened wide beneath them. From deep within, something ancient was rising. Splash's heart pounded. "What is that?" he cried. Luma's voice was calm but firm. "The guardian of the deep has awakened."
It's awakening, the guardian of the deep.
From deep beneath the cracked seafloor, something began to rise. The sand parted, glowing softly, as a giant figure slowly emerged. It was the guardian, ancient, powerful, and beautiful in a strange, mysterious way. Its body was made of smooth stone and seashells, wrapped in glowing seaweed and coral. Its eyes opened, not fiery or fierce, but gentle. And in those eyes, there was no anger, only sadness. The ocean seemed to sigh around it, as if sharing the guardian's pain. Splash floated quietly, his joy replaced by wonder. "Why does it look sad?" he asked softly. Luma placed a hand on Splash's fin. "Because it remembers," she said. "It remembers what the reef once was, and what it's in danger of becoming."
Wait, it's not attacking, it's sad?
The guardian had awoken, not to scare, not to fight, but because the ocean had cried out, a cry so deep, so quiet, that only the oldest magic could hear it. The coral was fading, the colors were dimming, the joy was slipping away, and the sea, the great, wide sea, had whispered for help. So the guardian rose, answering the call with a heavy heart and glowing eyes. It looked around slowly, its voice like the echo of waves against rocks. "Too long have I slept. Too much has been lost," it rumbled. Splash floated silently beside Luma, listening with wide eyes. He didn't know how, but he felt it too. The ocean needed help, and somehow, he was part of the answer. The water grew still, as if the sea itself was holding its breath. The glowing light around them faded to a soft shimmer, like moonlight through a window. And then, the guardian moved, slowly, gracefully, as if every motion carried the weight of 1,000 years. Its great stone eyes looked at Splash, at Luma, at the Coral Sisters, and then, in a voice as deep as the sea and as soft as a wave, it began to speak. I am the guardian, keeper of balance, protector of the deep, and I have waited a very long time for this moment. The ocean seemed to hum with quiet magic as the ancient being shared its tale, and the true journey began.
The ocean suffers. Its voice grows faint.
It's talking inside my head.
Darkness rises, not from outside, but within.
It's the reef. It's been absorbing too much human magic. Too many changes.
The balance is broken. The reef cannot hold it alone.
Then we'll help. We'll restore balance together.
And so, in the quiet glow beneath the sea, a promise was made. A promise to protect the reef, to listen when the ocean whispers, and to always choose kindness, even in the darkest waters. Splash looked up at the great guardian, his heart full and steady. The Coral Sisters held hands, their tails gently swaying. Luma gave a small, proud smile, and all around them, the ocean seemed to sigh with relief. Bubbles rose softly, fish returned from hiding, and light sparkled once more through the deep. In the shadow of a titan, hope had been born again. And the sea, vast, beautiful, and full of secrets, exhaled with joy. With the guardian's gentle light glowing behind them, Splash and the mermaids began their journey home. The path ahead shimmered with magic, lighting up the way like stars in the sea. They weren't just swimming anymore. They had a mission, a promise to keep. Together, they would bring color back to the coral. They would cheer up the sea creatures, plant new life, and remind the ocean how to smile again. Splash swam proudly by Luma's side, the Coral Sisters dancing playfully around them. They didn't know how long it would take, but they believed, with friendship, courage, and the Guardian's light, they could fix what had been broken, and little by little, the ocean would heal.
Each of us holds a part of the ocean's magic. Together, we can give it back.
The Coral Sisters zipped through the water, laughing and twirling like sea-spun ribbons. They spun, they sang, and they danced, their voices ringing like chimes made of seashells. Every swirl of their tails left trails of sparkling magic behind. Wherever they moved, color bloomed like underwater fireworks. Dull corals lit up in bright oranges and pinks. Sea fans waved again in shades of purple and gold. Even sleepy starfish began to wiggle and glow with delight. "Wake up, Reef!" the sisters giggled. "It's time to shine!" And as they danced, the ocean began to smile once more.
I've got an idea!
Just then, Splash gathered all his strength, and with a mighty leap, he soared through the water like a silver arrow. Higher and higher he swam, the Guardian's light glowing bright on his back. He zipped through caves, over coral towers, and past sleepy sea turtles. No one had ever gone this far, this fast, not even the fastest fish. But Splash didn't stop. He carried the light to places no mermaid or creature could reach, hidden cracks, forgotten corners, and faded reefs far beyond the deep. Wherever he touched, the light followed, bringing color, laughter, and life back to the sea. He wasn't just a playful dolphin anymore. He was a helper, a healer, a hero of the ocean.
Look, the reef is blooming.
All across the reef, a quiet magic filled the water. Every shell shimmered with soft light, glowing like tiny lanterns. The swaying anemones waved their colorful arms as if dancing to a song only the sea could hear. Even the tiniest grains of sand sparkled and swirled, humming with happiness. The reef had come alive again, brighter, braver, and more beautiful than ever. Fish zipped through coral castles, jellyfish bobbed with joy, and the ocean floor buzzed with excitement. It was as if the whole sea was singing a song of life, of love, and of everything that had been found again.
Balance restored.
The reef glowed with new life, every corner bursting with color and joy. The guardian stood tall and calm once more, its eyes soft and full of peace. It had seen the ocean hurting, and now it saw it healing. All around, the sea shimmered with quiet happiness. The waves rolled gently. The bubbles floated slowly. Even the dolphins sang a soft, sweet tune. It was the ocean's way of saying thank you. Thank you for the courage. Thank you for the kindness. Thank you for the light. And as the current carried the sound across the sea, it whispered its gratitude in every ripple and wave. The reef had been saved, and the ocean would never forget.
I suppose that wasn't entirely terrible.
So, does this mean I'm part of the reef now?
You're more than that, Splash. You're a guardian now, too.
The time had come to say goodbye. Splash floated quietly beside Luma and the Coral Sisters, looking out over the reef they had saved together. The colors were brighter. The waters felt warmer. The songs of the sea were sweet again, but something else had changed too. Something deeper. The ocean felt stronger, safer, and full of hope. Splash smiled, his heart full of memories, of laughter, light, and the magic he helped awaken. "Will I see you again?" he asked softly. Luma nodded with a twinkle in her eye. "The ocean is full of surprises," she said, "and magic always finds its way back." As Splash turned to swim home, a soft current swirled around him, like a gentle hug from the sea. The adventure had ended, but the ocean would never be the same again.
I'll visit again, I promise.
With one last look at the glowing reef, Splash smiled. Then, whoosh! He gave a joyful leap into the air, flipping high above the waves. The sun sparkled on his back, and for a moment, it was as if the whole ocean cheered. He splashed back down with a giggle, his heart light and his spirit strong. He was still the same playful dolphin, but now he was a little braver, a little wiser, and forever changed. As he swam off into the blue, the sea whispered gently behind him, "Thank you, Splash." And somewhere, deep below, magic smiled. For the ocean never forgets. It remembers the ones who listened, the ones who cared, the ones who brought back its smile. And no matter how far they go or how long they're gone, the sea will always whisper their names in the waves, because the ocean remembers those who listen and always, always welcomes them home.